Hello, all. This is Dr. Day Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I want to talk about your intention for doing a PhD or going to graduate school. So if you don't know me, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out to get through graduate school and to get my own PhD and to become a professor that I thought I'd pay the favor forward and help out other people around the world because there's nobody else doing this kind of stuff, right? So I created a sharing economy proofreading platform where you can get feedback on your work. I'm doing these videos to help you out. So what am I talking about with your intention for doing a PhD? I think this is incredibly important to figure out what your motivation is in terms of actually pursuing a PhD and moving forward with the thing that you're actually doing. And it could be for any particular project. So I've been doing a lot of research lately on the theory of planned behavior for a paper I'm working on. And it really is a theory of motivation to perform a particular activity, a particular task. Now, this was Ajzen in 1991 talked about this and pointed out the theory of planned behavior. And really what it is sort of thinking about how somebody can actually perform and do an incomplete something. And it's been used to explain many different things. This highly cited paper or series of papers that he wrote, and I think there's it's 50,000 sites on one particular paper. So it's really influential and explains everything from stopping smoking, from starting a new exercise regime, doing any particular task that's out there. It's been used in many different fields. And so, and even in entrepreneurship. And so I wanted to talk about this particular thing in terms of doing your PhD and this theory with doing your PhD. So really what the theory suggests is that there is the first thing to doing and completing a PhD is actually, and doing a particular task is to have the intention to do that particular task. That's really important. And there's 3 things that are driving those intentions. The first thing is the attitude towards behavior. Now, do you actually want to do that PhD? Why is it that you're really curious in doing that thing? If you're really curious and you really like to do that particular thing, then it's going to impact that you're actually going to want to do that thing. And your intention, sort of your readiness or willingness to do a particular task, is going to be impacted from your desire or your wishes or your attitudes towards that particular thing that you want to do. So if you really want to do it, it's going to make a huge difference on your intention to get that thing done and actually complete that thing. Now, there is also the perceived behavioral control, and this is a little bit tricky because really what it's talking about is, can you actually perform that task? And it's not only whether you can actually perform that task and complete that thing that you want to do, but it's also whether you perceive that you can do that thing, right? So if you don't think that you can do that thing, even though that you can do the thing, you're likely not going to put that much effort into it, right? So if you think it's really daunting and really scary to complete a PhD, for example, you're likely not going to complete it, even though if you have the education, the knowledge to do that thing. And I think that's where a lot of people actually sort of falter or don't complete or don't believe that they can do a PhD and complete the thing is probably more on the perceived behavioral control component of it, that you can actually do the thing that you want to do. And then last component is thinking about other people or the sort of social norms or culture around you. So there's, the social norms around you actually matter a lot in terms of whether you're actually going to perform a particular behavior. So for example, there's other people that are smoking around you, and there's norms, maybe it's for drinking alcohol or something like that around you, then you're much more likely to perform that behavior because other people, your family and friends and things like that, are actually telling you to do that thing, and it's actually a normal behavior when it's not, right? So those things might not be necessarily all that positive for you to do. So it's the same thing when you are thinking about doing a PhD. If there's people in your family that have a PhD or emphasize education, higher education, if there's family or if there's friends that you know that have actually completed that thing, it's going to make it so much more easier to actually do that thing and to do that PhD, for example, because family and friends are saying, you know what you're doing is actually worthwhile and you should pursue that thing. So for a PhD, and why am I actually talking about this? It's a really tough, difficult journey, and a lot of people sort of falter on it. So if you can sort of figure out and come up with a system that emphasizes these three things, right? So the first of all, you got to want to do the thing that you're thinking of doing. So, and if you watch some of these videos that I have lots of videos on this, and you have to really want to do a PhD and want to study the thing that you're going to study and want to do that for 10 years, 15, 20 years, because it's going to be a really long, daunting journey, and you have to sort of push through that. And you have to have that desire to do that thing. Or if it's not the particular like the topic that you're into, but you just like research, you like to do reading and writing or do a particular thing within the PhD sort of area that you're really curious about. So that has to be really hard and sort of central to what you're doing. And then the other thing is know that you do have the control. You can actually complete this thing. There's lots of sort of different factors that sort of make it difficult for you to complete a PhD, whether you don't have the knowledge or education or something like that. With an undergraduate degree, it's going to be much more difficult. But just know a lot of people have been there, and you can actually do that, and it's really all about your mindset and whether you actually think you can do that thing and you're going to actually complete that thing. And if you have control, behavioral control over that particular task, and you actually can moderate and sort of control that behavior and make sure you actually complete it to the end, you're going to be able to perform the task and get it done over the long haul, right? So if it takes you 4 or 5, 6 years, you can actually complete it by doing that. And the last thing was the sort of social norms around you. You have to look for a group that is going to help you out. So if you don't have a group, leave comments below in the YouTube comments below, and hopefully somebody will help you out and just kind of, I'm looking for people that are wanting to be mentors and stuff like that. I think it's really valuable if there's other people that are a little bit ahead of you and sort of thinking about things. Make sure you leave some comments and ask people that are watching this video that you'd be willing or you would want to get some advice and some help and stuff like that. It does help. And that's why I'm doing this, is because there's nobody else doing anything like this to get you through and to get you over the hump of doing a PhD. It's really incredibly important. And I view it's a really important thing. It's a really difficult thing. And there's not a lot of support out there for people that are thinking of doing it and sort of completing it and want to get it done or want to do better research and continue to go forward with that thing. So that's all I really wanted to talk about, is really emphasizing these three components. And if you emphasize those particular components and you look at the intentions to do a particular, the PhD, now, the theory suggests that once you have those strong intentions, you're highly correlated, or you're really likely to actually perform that task. And the reason is, if given the opportunity, you're more likely to perform that task and actually complete that thing towards the end and actually become successful with that particular task. So with smoking, for example, if you have lots of people that are telling you that smoking is not necessarily all that positive, that's family and friends, as well as you really want to change that behavior and stop smoking, and that you believe that you can stop smoking, that it's not a physical addiction and it's all in your head, you can do it and you could stop it. And lots of people do that every single day. It's the same thing with sort of alcohol abuse, or, actually starting a exercise regime or anything like that. If you find a group of people that are willing to help you out, and that you believe that you could do that thing and you want to do that task, then you can actually complete it and get it done. And the same thing with a PhD. And that's what I want you to think about going forward, is those three different factors, and try to build up those factors. And if you don't have any social group or anything like that, put comments below. That's awesome. If you know of other people that need this video, let other people know and give me a thumbs up. I'd highly appreciate it. Anyways, so that's all I want to say. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.